Just made it.
Hey everyone, welcome to Food Stories with Larry Fournillier. Today we are second parter of a four-parter with Chef Rachida Dukes. She started Artisan bread last week. No, it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, and this is the second installment. The third installment is going to be next week, Saturday, and the fourth and final one is going to be on the following Saturday. I'll give you all of that at the end of the show. Anyway, today we will be doing the second part of George Sepich, who is in the hangout. He is following along with Rachida as she bakes, as she puts the starter together and going to be doing the baking and all that. So George is her, I would say, her accomplice in the show. But before we get started, let me just do a quick introduction because I wouldn't be staying long flapping my mouth here. We're going right into the kitchen, and Chef Rachida is going to be starting the second part. Okay? So before we go into Chef's kitchen, to my left we have Aslan Blow, who just popped in from the UK. Hi, Aslan. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Sorry to speak as you were going live.
No problem. No problem at all. And then we have George Cohen, the not real George. He's in Mountain View, California. Hey, George.
Hey, happy Valentine's Day, Larry, and happy Canada Day.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. You see, I don't have a Valentine, so it completely slipped my mind. But I know I love everybody out there, and everybody loves Larry. Anyway, next is the real George. George Sepich, and he is in Indiana.
No, I'm in Illinois.
Illinois.
The pumpkin capital of the world.
One of those ice states.
You're thinking of the unreal George because he was originally from Indiana.
Okay, that's it. It mixed up his.
That's not true, George. I'm from Kentucky.
So George is going to be. I see you done some baking. You were on the original show, and you started a starter with Rachida, and you have been progressing nicely. You're going to show us and explain to us what happened in the past weeks, and I'm sure Chef Rachida is going to be very happy to see what you've done, and I'm sure you also have some questions.
Okay, you want me to?
We'll
later on, or you want it now? Or?
Yeah, later on. Chef Rachida is going to be conducting everything, so she will tell you when to bring out the bread. Okay. And the lady of the half hour is Chef Rachida Dukes. Hi, Chef.
Hey, this is
hey.
Yes, this is Rachida Dukes, known as Chef Rachida, and today it's the second session for the starter, just to finish the starter and also to answer your questions. But before that, happy Valentine. This is from my heart. I just
Thank
baked
you.
a giant cookie. I have a giant postcard from my husband right there. So, okay. So,
Don't forget your lower third.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah.
That's great. So, last time, and I'm going to stand up. I hope you can see me. Yes. Okay. Last time, we we talked about the starter, what we have, what the ingredients to use to build it, and so we mix 50 grams of water with 50 grams of rye flour because it's the easiest way. We weigh it. I make sure to weigh everything in front of you because it's very important. And we store it in a jar. We came back and we feed that 100 gram starter with another 50 gram of water and another 50 gram of flour. So by the end, we end up with 200 gram of flour of starter. And I ask you to take care of that 200 gram of starter by feeding it. I hope you did. And if you have any questions, we'll be answering those questions by the end of this session. This is what happens if you feed this starter. I'm going to show you. This is, I put it in this jar because it's marked with the cups and the millimeter. It has a nice lid. So this is how it looks like. I'm going to try to mix it. And you see all the bubbles? and it's supposed to smell sour, but a nice, clean sour. And as I'm mixing it, the volume decreased dramatically. So this starter really, it almost tripled. So I'm going to move the camera here so you can see I'm mixing the starter very well. And this starter, it took it only less than 10 hours to literally to triple. So I have 400 here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to feed it. And I'm not going to feed the 400 because then I will end up with hundreds of grams of starter. That's too much. So what I'm going to take 200 from here and feed it. And the other 200, I'm sorry to say that we're going to trash it. So again, I have the scale. I'm doing that because it's very important to weigh. I know everybody know how to weigh, but just to make a point here, I'm trying to show you it's very important. So I put the ball, I zero the scale, and I'm putting 200. Okay, yeah, 200. I have a little bit more, so this one I don't need it anymore. So we have 200 starter here, and I'm going to add 100 water and 100 flour.
That's 100 grams, correct?
Okay. That means clean up the area here, so you don't see anything except. Sorry, 200 starter, 100 water, 100 flour, and you do that for every time you feed your starter. So I'll start with the water, mix it well, and it really doesn't matter, it's easier. The order really doesn't matter. And then I use I add the 100 gram flour. I mix it in this bowl. I mix it, okay. Try to mix everything nicely. And I have two different jars here. I have those, they're marked, so I like them, and they have a lid. But this jar is too small, so I'm going to put it in a jar where my starter can triple with no problem. Because before, we use a jar where the starter is double, but it's messy. So
you got a lot of jars there, Chef Rachida.
The jar should be 3 times the volume of the initial starter.
Right.
3 times, please, because I've done that mistake again and again. I don't know why. I was not thinking. So here we have 400 grams of fresh starter, and we're going to wait until it double or triple. We may wait this time 8 hours because it has been 6 times I'm doing that. 6 times.
Okay. So what you're saying is, Chef,
yeah.
The more you go along the process as far as feeding it, the quicker the rise will occur in the starter?
Well, once you feed it, like I'm doing now, you cover it, you wait between 8 to maybe 16 hours, and it starts tripling, doubling or tripling. And then, let's say it goes all the way to here, and then at that time, the bacteria want more food, so it starts being hungry, and the volume of the starter is going to go down. So at that time, it's ready to be fed again. So here I'm going, I don't have a penny next to me, but normally you would put the day, the hour, the 400 gram, you put also, you have 400 gram, and that's it. And then you wait, like I said, between 8 to 16 hours. You should not need more than that. Sorry, I'm going to, okay, this is good. Can you see me? No.
Yes, we can.
Okay. And that's it. That's it.
Okay. Fantastic. George, I know you were following Chef Rachida on the part 1. How did your stuff turn out? And you want to share with us and share with Chef?
Yeah, I'm gonna try out. I'm just gonna borrow Chef Rashida's starter. I'm gonna try the new teleporter hangout app that Google.
Yeah. Oh, that's a new one. Yeah.
That worked really well.
Why does your kitchen look smoky, George?
It's
I don't
a scammer.
know. I don't know.
I'm teasing.
It's a scammer. It's a scammer. It's a scammer.
Right, yes, I have my starter here, and it needs a feeding today. So I haven't done that today, but got that going. And I actually I got anxious, and I took some of the starter, and I gave my first try. It doesn't look anything like the pictures on Chef Rashida's show, but I did give and I did four little.
Wonderful.
We go through this. I'm sorry, Larry. I'm going back to what I was saying. Since we finished with the starter, another picture maybe better.
Got it.
Okay. So when you feed the starter and you wait until it double or triple, you stir it and you put it in a nice jar where it's really nicely locked. You really have to lock it to store it correctly. Put the dates and put on its starter because we're done. We're not feeding it anymore. And I'll see the total of the weight of the starter and put it. Most of the time, I keep 300. That's enough for me. While we don't keep 100 because the bacteria like a much bigger volume to keep healthy. I wish we could work only with 100, but we can't.
Jeff Bond, our help out pal, he says here, I found for 400 grams of starter, a 1-quart mason jar works perfect. It rises just about to the top and stops without spilling.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Jeff, for your nice tip. Thank you. And okay, so coming back to this, so this one I'll leave it in the refrigerator up to 1 year. And you did see everything I've done. I'm sorry, 1 year. 1 month before I feed it again, the same way I show you.
Okay.
Once it rises completely, you stir it. You don't want to feed the starter and then immediately to put it in the refrigerator. No, you have to leave it at room temperature until it rises completely and it starts collapsing. Then you stir it, put it in a small jar, 300 gram, 200 gram is good enough for to store the starter. Okay, so for the next session, I'm just going to warm you up for the next session. What we will need: flour, salt, and water, and everything we for the bread making. We have it on my website, and Larry is going to put the link on these invites for the bread recipe, and the bread recipe link. So
yeah,
we definitely need. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you. The links are in the description on the event. It will also be in the video in the showcase app. That's all.
Yeah. So before we make the bread next time, I want you to read everything about how we make the starter to make sure you have yours ready. And I'd like you to read everything about how to make the bread so you have the ingredients on hand if you want to follow up with us. And also, if you read the ingredients, you're going to see we need 400 grams of starter. What it means, that means you have to have maybe 800 grams of starter, so you'll be able to get 400, and then you have 300-400 to store in your refrigerator.
Okay.
So you don't want to have only 400 starter exactly. You know what happened? If you use it with the bread, you have 0 starter left. And you have to start from all over.
All over again. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to feed this starter the day before the bread making, 2 days before actually. Since I don't bake every day, I'm going to feed it 2 days before, and I'm going to feed it the day before. So I would end up easily with 800 starter. And it's nice to feed the starter twice before making the bread. So you will have a very nice, help me here, Larry, very
Live
soft
Right.
bread with big holes. So you
starter.
need to feed it twice, not once, twice.
Okay.
It sounds good. The reason you want to feed it twice just before baking it, so that you will have it as active as possible just before you bake it, right?
Yes, yes. It's better than this. Right, thank you. Yes.
Thanks, Aslan. All right, so I guess we could go to George now and see what he did with his startup that he started 2 weeks ago.
Yep, it looks pretty similar, I think, to Chef Rashida's. I've been feeding it, and actually was able to use it to make the bread that I just made. So it worked out real well. And I actually started with the rye starter, and then when I made the bread, it was a combination of the organic bleached white flour and whole wheat flour.
Yeah, and thank you for reminding me that the day before you're making your bread, you don't need to feed your starter with white flour because your starter is strong enough to keep going. So at that time, you use your favorite flour, the wheat, spelt, anything.
Okay,
if you're
great.
using the white flour, you don't use 100% white flour. You use it with combination with another dark flour.
Okay.
Okay?
Very good, very good. So, George, do you have any questions before we wrap up? Do you have any questions for Chef Rachida?
Yeah, when I was making the bread, I wasn't sure the proper way to put the salt in. Do you just kind of fold it in, or do you sprinkle it in, or do you make like like a hole and put it in there? I wasn't sure the proper way on the salt.
Okay, the way I do it, I mix the flour and water first, and I wait 20 minutes. They call it autolyse. We want the flour and the water to rest, to do something. And then after that, you add that 20, normally I add 20 grams of salt. The 20 grams salt, I will add to it a couple spoons of water from the initial water I'm adding, and I just add it. I just add it like that. There is no, how to say it? No, there is no specific way how to add it. We just add it mixed with water. And I will go over that next time when I show you how to knead the bread. Actually, there is no kneading. I hope you know that my artisanal bread has no kneading. There is folding.
Right.
Resting,
Interesting.
Folding, resting. There is no kneading.
So the next show, folks, this one is coming close to an end. On the next series, next part of the series, part 3, is going to be on the 21st of February, which is next week, Saturday, same time. And the 4th and final will be on the 28th of February, same time, same day. Okay, so mark your calendars. Of course, I'll be putting out the event to remind folks and to have you guys come in and comment. Actually, Hobart Hall, who is he's a follower of mine, and he comments on a lot of my posts. He says, let me just put it up what he says here. Hobart says, I'm so glad Melanie pointed this out to me about artisan bread. I'm sorry I missed part 1. I like George, Indiana, ill. 1 first attempt. All right. So, Herbert, you could go back to the. I think we have the video on this event. I had a link. Yes. If you read the details of this event, it's there. If not, I can always put it out in the stream, or I can always send it to you directly, since you big follower. Right. So I guess I said any more questions, Aslan,
I
George?
do have a quick story to share with you, Larry.
Oh yes, about the bird, the plane.
Yes. When I live on a third floor apartment that overlooks a large lake, and it's literally like 5 feet away from me. And I take stale bread all the time, and I throw it into the lake, and the birds come, and seagulls and geese and everything. And I had some leftover dough, and I just decided to throw that out there. And the lake's frozen, and sure enough, the seagulls come. I'm kind of the king of the seagulls because I open up my sliding door, and the seagulls just come. They spy on me all day, waiting for me to throw bread out. And I threw out the dough, and it was kind of a little bit sticky and stuff. And I put it out there, and I saw the seagull come, and he starts eating it. Well, about an hour later, I go to the grocery store, and I get in my pickup truck, and on my windshield was a big piece of bread dough dropped on my truck out of all the trucks, all the cars in the parking lot. That bird took the dough from the lake, flew all the way over the apartment complex into the parking lot, found my truck somehow, and dropped it on my windshield.
Well, he knows you. He knows you.
Have it back.
That's my food story, Larry.
Yeah, well, that was a good one. That's a good one, George.
George, can you show us that bread you made? I didn't get a picture of it earlier. I'll do it now.
I actually did a couple, so there's...
Great. And for those of you joining us, this is the...
Hang on. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, sorry. Go on.
Good.
No, that's all right. That's all right. You could have just taken a picture with me talking. That's quite all right. Those of you not joining us, we are reached to the end of part 2. Part 3 will be coming in a week's time. Next week, Saturday, the 21st, at the same time on Saturday. So, in parting, Chef Rachida, do you have any advice for the folks who are out there who might be having a starter and they want to maybe come next week? Anything you want to add? Or
what I can add, please don't give up. If something goes wrong, go to this invite on my website. Ask questions. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And keep repeating. Do not give up. And next time you're going to see how we're going to use the starter and how we're going to make an artisan bread.
Okay, great. So, this is Larry Fournillier on behalf of Aslan Blow, George Cohen, the Unreal George, and the Real George Sepich, and Chef Rachida Dukes from Washington, D.C. So long, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy V-Day.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Yeah, forgot about that.